Okay, picture this. You're buying a coffee, you pull out your phone, you tap the screen, and boom, it's done. You're on your way. It feels like absolute magic, right? Well, behind that one simple, seamless tap is a world of unbelievable complexity. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and deconstruct that magic piece by piece.
I mean, seriously, what does it actually take to make sure your money goes to the exact right place, instantly, securely, and most importantly, only once? How in the world do you build a system that millions of people trust with their finances every single day?
So, how do we start exploring this hidden world? Well, we got our hands on a map, and this isn't just any map. It's an internal company document, an appraisal form that lays out the entire career path for an engineer from a total apprentice all the way up to a master. It's so much more than a checklist. It's the actual blueprint for building perfection. And we're going to walk through it together.
All right, so our journey starts at level 2 with the apprentice. This is where the foundation gets laid. It's not about crazy innovation just yet. It's all about flawless, perfect execution.
Think of the apprentice like a really skilled watchmaker who's been given a super precise blueprint. Their job is to follow it to the absolute letter. Why? Because in the world of payments, even the tiniest deviation, a single misplaced gear, can have massive consequences. They have to master the fundamental rules of the system, no exceptions.
And here's one of those core rules that's just fascinating. For us, right, getting money back is just, well, getting money back. But to the system, there's a universe of difference between a reversal and a refund. A reversal stops the transaction before the money officially moves between banks. A refund, on the other hand, has to create a whole new transaction to send the money back after everything's settled. An apprentice absolutely has to know this difference cold, or the accounting for the entire company can go completely sideways.
And here's a word that is, absolutely crucial to all of our peace of mind: idempotency. Have you ever hit pay and your internet glitches so you start frantically tapping it again? Well, idempotency is the magic principle that prevents you from getting charged twice or 3 times. The system is smart enough to recognize that the request is a duplicate, and it makes sure the payment only goes through once. An apprentice learns to apply this rule like it's gospel. So the bottom line for the apprentice is this: protect the user's balance and the company's ledger at all costs. You follow the established patterns, you apply the core principles, and you ensure that every single transaction is accurate and secure. This is the bedrock of trust. But just following the rules is only the beginning. To really advance, an engineer can't just know the what. They have to deeply, truly understand the why. So let's level up to the journeyman. The journeyman, or a level 3 engineer, starts to see the entire system, not just the one little piece they're working on. So they're not just following a path on the map anymore. They understand how all the roads connect to form the whole city. And this is a perfect illustration of that bigger picture. A journeyman doesn't just know how to write the code for the capture step. No, they understand its exact place in the entire payment lifecycle. That you obviously can't capture funds you haven't authorized first, and that settlement is the final, irreversible moment where the money actually changes hands between banks. They see the whole flow. This table from the appraisal form really shows the leap in a nutshell. An apprentice might see an error and just fix the immediate symptom. They patch the leak. But a journeyman, they trace that leak all the way back to find out why the pipe burst in the first place. When something goes wrong in production, they aren't just watching from the sidelines. They are in the thick of it, actively investigating. That is the essence of real ownership. And that's really the key difference right there. You can give a journeyman a vague problem, like, hey, a user's payment failed, and they can navigate the entire incredibly complex web of services, from the app to the server to the banking networks, to find the true root cause of the issue, all by themselves. So we've gone from following the map to knowing the whole territory. What could possibly be left? Well, how about drawing the map for everybody else to follow? Welcome to the level of the master. The master, or level 4 engineer, is just operating on a completely different plane. They're not just solving today's problems. They are designing the systems that will prevent tomorrow's. Their work is all about building the very foundations and frameworks that the apprentices and journeymen are going to use for years to come. And just look at the scale of this stuff. A master isn't just tweaking a single fee. They're designing the entire engine that calculates fees and commissions across millions of transactions.
They're not just fixing one offline payment, they're defining the company's whole strategy for how to handle payments when there's no internet. It's pure, high-level system architecture.
Okay, to really see this journey in action, let's track one single vital concept: keeping your payment info safe across all three levels. It's a fantastic example. First up, The Apprentice. They follow the golden rule: use encryption. They know to apply the standard, HTTPS, to make sure no one can listen in on the data as it travels from your phone to the server. It's the essential first line of defense. Then comes the journeyman. They understand the why behind the rule. It's not just enough to encrypt the data. They make sure to validate that the server they're talking to is the real server, not some imposter trying to steal your info. This is what prevents those sophisticated man-in-the-middle attacks. And finally, the master. They don't just follow the policy, they create it. They architect the entire security protocol for the company, deciding which types of encryption are allowed, how security keys are managed, and creating the very rules that the apprentices and journeymen will follow to keep every single one of us safe. So it's pretty clear there's this huge ladder of technical skill, but this appraisal form, it reveals something else, something that might be even more important. Turns out, mastery isn't just about the code. These are the things that separate the good engineers from the truly great ones, and it's true at every level. Taking total ownership of a feature, mentoring the more junior developers, actually understanding the business impact of a technical decision. It's about being so much more than just a coder. It's about being a true steward of the product, the business, and the team. And at the end of the day, when you're dealing with people's money, it all comes down to one single number: 0. That's the number of money-losing bugs that are ever acceptable. In the world of payments, the stakes are absolute. This entire journey from apprentice to master is built to protect the immense trust that we all place in that system every day.
This quote on the screen really it nails it. Great software isn't just written, it's architected with foresight, secured with diligence, and owned with integrity. That simple, magical tap you make to pay for your coffee is the end result of all three. A foundation of carefully followed rules, expanded with deep understanding, and guided by strategic foresight. So the next time you tap your phone to pay, maybe you'll see it just a little bit differently. Not as one single, simple action, but as the final expression of a breathtakingly complex system, built and protected by a silent army of apprentices, journeymen, and masters, all working in concert to make it just work.